Hi, it's Dee, or Mama Dee. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss 10 things that are important to middle-aged people. And I kind of did a little research, and the top 10 issues that are important to middle-aged people are: number 1, cognitive decline, depression, mobility, nutrition, hormonal fountain of youth, frailty and sarcopenia, cardiovascular disease, immune system and aging, the merchants of immorality, and systems in geriatrics. So, first of all, tonight we're going to talk about cognitive decline. I think that is really probably what most of us fear, growing older and hopefully not, becoming like my dad, who had Alzheimer's disease. It was a very horrible way to go. And very sad to see him decline over the years. And then when it got to the point where he was totally, out of it, didn't know who he was, didn't know where he was, that was really sad. And so cognitive decline begins in middle age. We know that. And a 10-year study of people 45 to 70 was found that cognitive decline began around the ages between 45 and 55. And reasoning ability is the most affected by age. So being able to figure out things and reason is very important. So that's really scary that that's the first or the most affected thing. And a more recent, larger study was found that found mid to late 40s may be more accurate. So that's even a little bit earlier. So there was a long-term British study that showed that the decline increases with age, which we probably all knew that, and that women are less affected by age, showing the same decline when younger. So ladies, that's not good for us, okay? Rigorous exercise can help delay the onset of dementia, but once it has set in, it does not slow the progression. So getting exercise, while you're younger may, stop it from the onset of dementia, which is what you want to keep it from even starting. Lifestyle changes can prevent cognitive decline, even in genetically at-risk people. So depending on, your diet, what you eat, how you exercise, how active you are with things, makes a big difference. Then there was a Finnish study that showed that a counseling program, together with advice and support for managing vascular health, can prevent cognitive decline, even among those with Alzheimer's, with the Alzheimer's gene. So this is something that we really need to be thinking about when we're early, before we even hit middle age. And ways to slow down cognitive decline. There was a very large online study that found that doing word puzzles regularly protects against age-related cognitive decline. So I just downloaded a game on my phone where it gives you the letters and they're scrambled up and you have to put them into the crossword puzzle. And that was the way they advertised the game. It said, people that play this game 10 minutes a day see improvement in their, cognitive ability. And, it helps slow the progression of cognitive decline. So I hurried up and downloaded that. Cognitive decline is less in those who engage more frequently in cognitive stimulating activities. So word puzzles, games that make you have to think, and memory, those are good. Activities that keep you actively searching for words, such as Scrabble or crosswords, may help reduce those tip-of-the-tongue experiences where, in particular, words cannot quite be recalled. And I do that all the time. And I'm really horrible with names. And there'll be people that I've known for years. And I may, see them somewhere, haven't seen them in years. But, all of a sudden, I cannot for the life of me remember their name. And I feel so bad. And I try to introduce, if I'm with my husband, I'll be like, hi, this is my husband, Eric. And then they'll usually say, "Hi, I'm Sue." You know, I'm like, whew, it got me off the hook with that one. But I find I do that a lot. And I had 2 years ago, it's about 2 years ago, I guess, I had really started noticing that I was forgetting things. And I'll admit this, and it's really sad, but I was going through a fast food restaurant. I had paid for the food. I was in line, you know, car or two ahead of me to get up to the food. And I was on my banking app, and I looked and I said, oh my God, I'm short, you know, whatever it was, I don't remember, $22. I don't have enough to pay for this. And I freaked out and I drove off. And as I'm going down the road, it finally hit me, and I was like, Dee, you paid for it already. So I called and I told the lady, I said, hi, I was just in line. I paid for my food and I had a little bit of an emergency and I had to run off. And she goes, oh, I figured that. She goes, it's here, just come get it. And that scared me. And I called my husband and I started crying. I said, I'm scared. I think I've got Alzheimer's. So I called my doctor. My doctor set me up with a neurologist, and I went through a bunch of testing. And he said, you do not have Alzheimer's. He goes, you're under a lot of stress. And he said, stress can cause these things to happen. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I was scared to death. That really scared me. I mean, I've forgotten things and forgotten names, but when I just 2 seconds before I paid for the food and I was in the line maybe less than a minute later and totally forgot that I had paid for it, that really scared me. And there have been several studies looking into the possible benefits of omega-3 fatty acids, or fish oils. And as a Avocare distributor, I've been taking Avocare's fish oils for 6 years now. And it's one of the better fish oils out there. And I would definitely recommend it to anybody. And I'll put the link to the website down in the notes as well. But I take 2 of them in the morning and 2 at night. So they say that fish oils, eating fish and, fatty acid, omega-3 fatty acids, studies have showed that intake of those are associated with lower rates of dementia, perhaps because in one study found it's associated with much lower risk of silent brain infarct. So if you're not a medical person, an infarct is like a stroke. And you can have tiny TIAs, these little mini strokes, and that's what they're talking about, where a blood clot has blocked off the blood flow to your brain. And it can be a big blood clot where you just, one night my mom had hip surgery about 6 weeks before, and she was doing her leg exercises in bed, and as she raised her leg one of the times, she just went totally out. And my dad called me, and we went to the called the ambulance, took her to the hospital. We were doing the sternal rub, pushing on her. She was not moving, and I just was like, she's had the big one. And about an hour after we got to the emergency room at Barnes, she just woke up, and she remembered everything. The only thing she didn't have after that was a little bit of couldn't taste things for a while. But they said she had a blood clot that went into her vertebral artery up in her vertebrae. And evidently the clot just broke up and busted away. And when it did, the blood flow went back to her brain, and she was wide awake. She knew exactly what she was doing. She said, I was watching Johnny Carson and I was doing my exercises. And then boom, So being able to, avoid blood clots forming and, getting a stroke is a huge, huge benefit of omega-3 fish oils. There's also some evidence that eating fish regularly slows the rate of normal age-related cognitive delay. So by eating fish and taking fish oil supplements, and it also showed that people who do eat a lot of fish and take omega-3, fatty acid supplements, it showed a higher IQ in adolescent males. So I don't know. You'd think it would increase, females' IQ too, but that was a study that they found the results. So omega-3 fatty acids seem to help cognition by improving the synapses, in the nervous system, the nerves shoot impulses from one synapse to the other, and so it helps that connectivity for the neurons to pass that information down, and also. it says omega-3 fatty acids seem to help cognition by improving synaptic plasticity. So helping that, you know, that flow of neurons going, and the expression of several important proteins from learning and memory. So, you know, it's very important what you eat, your exercise, taking care of yourself. If you're like me, I'm 61 and I haven't done it the way I should. I didn't start really caring about my health until about 2008. And so a lot of the damage had been done. You know, by then I'm diabetic, I've got high blood pressure, I've got heart problems, a pacemaker. So, you know, if I could talk to anybody who was younger to express to them the importance of taking care of your body, I would do that definitely. Other sources of omega-3 fatty acids are salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines, anchovies, also almonds, walnuts, soy, flaxseed oil, and eggs, but eggs that are laid by chickens that eat DHA supplemented feed. So DHA is another important ingredient and things that we should be eating with those with that, but I did not research that as much. But at the bottom of the video, there is a link to a website called About Memory, and I got most of the stuff that I read to you, a lot of it off of there. So I will put the link for Advocare, the website, and you can look at the omega-3 fatty acid, the fish oil that Advocare has, top quality fish oil. I know Dr. Oz on one show had named it one of the top fish oils to take. So whatever you can do now to help your brain from deteriorating is definitely something you need to be doing. So the next video, I'm going to research depression, and that is a huge you know, problem with our age group. So I will kind of dig into that and tell you what I've learned about that. And with that, I hope you have a great night, and I'll try and get the depression video out before New Year's Eve. Okay? Have a great day.